Hey everybody, Eddie Gant with Jet Lending. A little bit different today. I got my friend Eric here with me. I'm one of the co-owners of Jet Lending. I'm also HomeVestor's franchisee down in Houston, Texas. I've bought just under 1,900 houses. But yesterday was kind of a special fun day. I had Eric, my friend, with me. Eric just got into this business. It was, as a matter of fact, his first ever going to an appointment to buy an investor house or buying a house as an investor. I was the buyer. Eric was my ride along. So he had never seen this before.
Right.
So we wrote a contract at the appointment to buy the house, Houston area house, fixer-upper. So I'm gonna ask you a series of questions just for the audience. You had never been on an appointment like that before to buy a house.
First one ever. First one ever.
What was it like for you?
Well, you told me we were going to Livingston, so we didn't get a waterfront property, but we had a good area, but it had shown some signs of neglect, and I was a little wondering on what conditions we might be coming on, and house of value and what it had to offer. But for the most part, it was a normal home visit that I've been, in the past, but nonetheless for HomeVestors. No.
Okay. Was the house in worse condition than you were expecting or not?
With it being occupied, it was in worse condition than I expected for occupants to be in, that's for sure.
How tall was the grass in the backyard?
About knee high. Good high. Knee high.
Okay.
Glad we were wearing blue jeans.
All right. As we walked the house, what struck you as odd or surprising?
Well, the smell was pretty surprising with the fact that people were living in there. Mm-hmm. The actual space that the home had to offer, I didn't expect to walk into a 5-bedroom, 1,500 square foot home.
1,500 square feet, 5-bedroom, yeah.
So
small rooms.
Yeah, they were, but it had quite a bit of not much attention put towards the home in its entirety. I'll just say that.
The environment, we had the seller, lady, and a whole bunch of family members we weren't expecting. How many were in that house when we were there?
I lost count. I had them on one hand till I didn't, and wondering if any more were going to pop out of each bedroom door we opened was something we was hoping to.
Would you say you were uncomfortable?
It was okay. It wasn't too uncomfortable. It was more hard just for the seller, and the emotions that she was expressing in front of her family members while we were walking out in front of them. And
Just throw a number. Know you're a little bit inexperienced, but what do you think it would cost to rehab that house? Just you shooting from the hip.
If it wasn't a complete redo, I'd every bit of $50,000 to $60,000 to maybe give it livable and
my
to
number
reset.
was around 50.
Okay.
Around 50,000.
Yeah.
And ARV, after repaired value.
130 maybe.
Yeah.
All
right. Okay. And the people that know me know I talk about eyeball to eyeball on the offers. Were we eyeball to eyeball when we made that offer?
Not quite.
Well, I was.
You were. I was trying to get some fresh air, more or less, than thinking numbers right then.
And I like to sit at the kitchen table or the living room couch. Could we do that?
They didn't have one there.
That's
for
right.
That.
Where did we sit to do this deal?
We got back in the truck and we turned the AC on, and I got in the back, and the seller sat up front, and we small talked while we worked the numbers and made her kind of feel a little more comfortable, I think.
I had the Ford Raptor AC blowing hot.
That's it. We needed it. Yeah, we needed it too, because it was hot and sticky walking through that place.
So we made the offer in the front seat of the Ford.
Right then and there.
And her response was?
She took the offer. She signed right away, and she was very thankful and grateful for it. I do know that.
She did not want that house.
She couldn't, no matter what another outcome could have been, it wasn't going to be her having that house.
She didn't want it.
No.
She was ready to let her go.
Let her go.
And I got a feeling her biggest motivations were she had family members living there, tearing her property, her asset up, and not paying. Was that kind of your read? That was my read.
Yeah, she'd even said all her hard work that she had left for somebody to start their own family in let it get like that. And it wasn't how she was raised or had been established as a family with them. And yeah, so she was highly disappointed in what it was. So I think we did her a huge favor not having that.
Yeah,
on her
because she
plate.
didn't live there.
No.
Her family, a non-paying family member.
Right.
Now, what was the one condition that I put on that contract? Do you remember?
Yes, it was that that they moved out, that she got
That's
the family members that are unoccupied
Yeah.
before you.
Family members are a problem.
Yeah.
Is the lesson there?
Yeah.
Because I've never really had big issues with a seller moving out. Small, but not many. You know,
Sure.
small. I've never had too big issues with a tenant moving out.
Yeah.
But family members, I highly recommend don't fund the transaction until
Yeah.
the family members have vacated.
Yeah.
You know, you do it, you make your own decisions, but that was big to me.
Yeah.
But we signed the contract on my console in the front seat of my truck.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not the first time that's ever happened to me. I've done that before when it was more comfortable to go to my truck due to the air conditioning and the conditions inside than it was to stay inside. I've actually done them on the tailgate of my truck on a pretty day, park in the shade and do it that way. But coming out, it's your first time to go witness what you witnessed. Me walking a house, running the numbers, negotiating a contract, making an offer, signing a contract. How'd you walk away from that whole thing? What was your thoughts?
I would have to say on how much we helped that family and her, and she was going to college and she lived 4 hours away, and you could just tell it was a burden on her. So I think it just helped that family tremendously. Although in the same side saying that, it was putting family members out, but that was their personal and family problems that they're going to have to work themselves through. But for the seller and the homeowner, she didn't need this anymore.
Yeah.
She couldn't have it.
Yeah, she was so motivated. And about the family members, I didn't think about it that way, but that's a good point.
Yeah.
I kind of saw it from they're destroying this lady's asset and her equity and her by mistreating the property and not paying. It's one thing not to pay, but to mistreat the property like that. I've always said this: financial condition is not an excuse for filth. I've always said that in my career, and I believe that.
Yeah, it just shows a lack of appreciation or respect you have for, especially somebody family that put that place there for them. And that hurt her. She was very she was crying. She was upset.
Okay, so now you're in the business.
Yeah.
Did this motivate you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not. I'm grateful for the next lead. I don't think it'll go quite as easy as this one went, but maybe I'll get one day and I'll get to share it with you.
And I thought we made a fair but profitable offer for us to, because now we're taking on the risk. We've got to rehab this house, and we didn't talk about the street scene, but it wasn't River Oaks.
No, it
wasn't. It wasn't Katy,
Texas. It was the rougher side of your Lake Livingston.
Yeah.
People think in their minds their perception of the pretty lakes and the boats and the water. No, it was.
Yeah, it was distressed area.
Very
for
much
sure.
so.
Yeah, and we'll take that house that doesn't look good down, make it pretty.
Yeah.
Last comments?
Man, excited to get started. Right. Thank you for that day.
Yeah.
I'll try to repeat it, and when I do, I'll be sure to call and let you know.
Well, thanks. I just wanted, and this is the first time I'd ever done this, unscripted. We just said, hey, let's cut a little video on this and talk about it. It'd be good for the people that's thinking about getting in this business, thinking of the people that maybe, I've been asked a lot, do I ever get scared going in a rough environment? And this one wasn't rough, but I've been in rough.
Sure.
And honestly, I've never really had a bad issue out there. Almost a couple times, but it's really not. It's over exaggerated, I guess is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
But
some people just want help, and then when they realize you're there to help them, it kind of calms that your surroundings. If you're in a rougher area or however it seems fit, I think that kind of goes away once you see that these people are just glad you're there, and they're wanting you to help them.
Okay. So if a jet lending client came to us, we would evaluate this like we do most of these single-family houses. We would determine the ARV, which I did at the property. We'd get an appraisal on the property. We would evaluate the the dollar amount and the work scope of the repairs we've got to do, which I did at the appointment yesterday. And then from there, between the ARV and how much money it's going to take to rehab this house fully, we would structure a repair budget and a loan amount, and we'd be set to go to closing just as soon as the title company gets the work done. A good title company ought to be able to get that done in 6 to 12 business days. Call it 7, 8, 9. We'd be ready to close when the title company's ready. And this would be at the dollar amounts we were talking about yesterday. We'd basically be talking about funding somewhere around $50,000 at closing and about another $40,000 to $50,000 in repairs for a total loan amount of ballpark $100,000 to $110,000. And on a deal like that, we'd be able to do 100% financing on a property like that, and get you rolling if it was one of the Jet clients. It wasn't. This one was me personally, but had Eric been on the appointment and borrowing money from Jet Lending, that's basically how we would have structured that deal. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, this is Eddie Gant with Jet Lending, www.jetlending.com, info@jetlending.com, 281-872-7800. And if you've got questions about this, any other questions, you want to make loan out with us, you want to seek, we got a gazillion educational videos out there on our YouTube channel and on jetlending.com. You can watch if you're new in this business, a lot of these will really help you. If you're experienced, you're going to learn some things too. But hey, we're glad to help. Look forward to seeing you. Remember always the Jet Lending Super Investor Meeting, the third Wednesday of every month in Houston. We look forward to seeing you soon. Eddie Gant, Jet Lending, checking out. And thank you, Eric, for joining me.
No problem. Thank you.